Good day and welcome to NACTV's Coffee Chat. My name's Lyle Watson and we're very pleased to have a guest that doesn't need much of an introduction to most of our viewers, but we're pleased and would like to say welcome to Amanda Naughton-Gale. She is the Community Director of the Neepawa Ministries Centre here in Neepawa, which also includes the Salvation Army and part of it. So thank you for taking the time to be with us, Amanda, and welcome. And we're looking forward to a message, and we're talking about planning for the future and maybe taking a little look at the back, looking back at and seeing what Salvation Army and the Community Center, Ministry Center is. So can you give us a bit of background of what you do there, please?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me today, Lyle. I appreciate it. So the Salvation Army Neepawa Community Ministries Centre, we operate a thrift store, and we also have community and family services. And so we operate the thrift store as a social enterprise. Everything, all profits made from the thrift store go back into the operations to support the family services side. So what we do for family services is we have a food bank that we have all year round. Yep. We operate the Christmas hamper program here in Neepawa. We also have a couple of other things that go on. We have a lending library for tablets. If people need to be connected to technology for educational purposes and don't have access to it, we can lend out that. We sponsor kids for camp, and we have our community open garden in the front of the store as well. So, yeah.
Just a quick question comes to mind. Recently, in the last couple of years, you changed location. Has that new location been a real benefit to the thrift store?
You know what, honestly, that really has blossomed for us. Like that, the location that we were in was very, very small. If everybody remembers the little citadel that we were on 299 Davidson. But our move to 342 Mountain Avenue has been incredible for us. We have seen such an increase in business, which in turn has really, it's increased our ability to hire people. It's increased our ability to expand programming. And now as we're looking kind of what's next, that really is kind of, how well the thrift store does really kind of determines how well we can do in the future and what other things we can do.
Offer.
Yeah.
So you mentioned employees. I know you have some employees, but it's also you work with a lot of the volunteers that want to volunteer to work with you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have so we got about a staff of 7. So we've got a couple of full-time. I'm included in that number. We've got about 3 part-time people, and then we have about 3 casual people that also work with us. But we have a dedicated crew of about 16 people that come in every month or whether that's weekly or monthly or whatever, to help us out volunteering. And then we've got kind of a small army of people who love to help us out during kettle seasons or packing hampers or doing other sorts of events. And so there's probably another 20 to 60 people, depends on who you need, in that list that we can always give a call to and rely on. So.
Well, it's nice to know you have that support, and you're probably always looking for new volunteers too, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If people are interested in helping out, there's always something to do at the thrift store, whether that is helping out in the back room processing, helping out in the front, whether that's merchandising, helping to clean or tidy up racks or after shoppers or put out merchandise, that kind of stuff. When we've got the food bank going and stuff like that, there's always need to restock. We always have, and when the garden's up and running, we always need people to help out, whether that's planting, whether that's weeding or maintaining and taking care of it. And then of course harvesting and taking it down and cleaning up.
And it's nice to have that there, I say. The other question is, and we're all faced with the impact of COVID in the last 2 years and what it's done to, let's say, your community hampers and just business in general, and how has COVID impacted the thrift store and the need for more help for the community?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely during 2020 it was it was an interesting year. We were shut down for many weeks, and that definitely had an impact in our sales and what we were able to do. We've really seen now, once restrictions were lifted, or the first time around when restrictions were lifted, we were able to kind of just open under, kind of smaller restrictions. We really saw people coming to us as a place where they could shop. They felt safe when they were shopping. They knew that we had a really good cleaning regime, that we were enforcing the mask mandates and that sort of thing, that we were following all the health regulations and guidelines out there, and we really honestly saw quite an increase in our sales over that time period. And so the thrift store really has kind of recovered over that hard time in COVID. So we're really excited about that, because again, every dollar that we make in the thrift store goes right back to helping families and individuals within our own community. And so, the better that the thrift store does, the better we can support other people within the community. So it really, truly is the best feel-good shopping that you can can have in Neepawa.
And you've had an increase in people looking for those services over the last couple of years too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has it been a big increase?
Quite a dramatic increase. We kind of felt that, in 2020 when COVID hit, we were really braced for the worst, and it didn't happen. And we were kind of like, okay, when's the shoe going to drop? When's the other shoe going to drop? And we really found that in our year in 2021, we saw a 60% increase in 60% increase in the need of food bank. So on average, but prior to 2021, we were helping maybe 10 to 12 families on average a month. We're up to 30 families on a very regular basis a month now. So that double plus a little bit. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you think, that's 30 families, we're looking at about probably 80 to 90 individuals that we assist during the month. Most of those are children. Probably, and I think 40% 41% of our clients are under the age of 18.
Really?
So, when you think that we're doing a lot of work in ensuring that, kids are taken care of, that we're putting food on the plates, that we're helping with the food insecurity that families are facing. And we probably, I would say, about 2,200 pounds of food goes out in hampers alone through the food bank. So it's really
what period of time is that?
In a month.
In a month.
Okay. So when we get food drives like the Hope Food Drive, which blew us away this past October, which almost like 4,000 pounds of food. When you kind of look at that and you go, oh my goodness, but you're giving out 2,000 pounds of food every month. It doesn't take long for those stocks to dwindle. And so we're always looking there, always check out the Facebook page or the Instagram page, and there's always a list up of the top kind of five or 10 needs. And yeah, we're always taking food donations for sure.
Well, the other thing we are aware of, and I know you're working hard at, is that we've seen a big change in our community in terms of population and requirements, needs, and I know that you've spent a lot of time on working and trying to look forward and planning the future, and that's what kind of we'd like to emphasize today is the future. Thinking back, Amanda, when you started with Salvation Army, I think we've almost doubled our population, haven't we?
Yeah. I've been with the Salvation Army now for almost 10 years. So in June will be my 10th year. And yeah, we really, in the last 10 years of this community have really, really grown exponentially. We're the 5th fastest growing community in Manitoba, the 13th fastest growing community in Canada. Yeah. And that has to do with High Life, and it has to do with immigration.
Yes.
And that's only wonderful and great and positive stuff. However, with a fast growing community, you have to kind of sit back and go, do we have the resources to support people that are coming to our community.
Yes.
And that's really kind of what we're looking at. It's also an opportunity. You know, we've been in our new location for almost 4 years. When we first came to the new location, we did a strategic plan of the things that we thought we should be able to accomplish over for the first 3 years. COVID kind of put a little bit of a damper on some of the ending stuff, but we're now looking at taking that and going, okay, now where can we go? What else do we need to do? And a lot of the first year of that strategic plan was based around the development of the business of the thrift store and how can we, you know, support that and build that business. Now what we're looking at is, you know, what we really and truly are, the reason that we are in Neepawa is to provide family services, community and family services. And so what can we do that's beyond just the food bank or beyond Christmas hampers? What other things can we do to help support people within our community?
And with the larger population and just on natural events, things change, and change is inevitable. And we're also seeing a change in the way our population lives, how they are involved in the community in different ways. And I know that you are looking for ways to communicate with the community to find out what the thoughts are out there.
Yeah.
And I know you've done a lot of work on that, and maybe we can talk about that for a minute.
Absolutely. So in any strategic planning kind of session, you really want to engage with your stakeholders and take kind of a snapshot of how they see you, what you see, what your challenges are, what your strengths are, what opportunities are there out there. And the idea for us now, when we first did our strategic plan, we did have those stakeholders around the table. What we're looking to do is also involve those stakeholders at this in this next step, but we want to also involve the greater community.
Yes.
And so we're hoping to, we're doing a community consultation session on May 18th at Arts Forward, and we really are looking to focus on a few themes, and we want the community's input of how do they view the Salvation Army here in Neepawa. You know, what do they view as needed within their community? Is there a spot for us in that? But really kind of a snapshot of what are we missing as a community that really, in such a fast growing community, that we might need to be looking at. Instead of trying to play catch up, let's be proactive at implementing those supports before we can't support our community any longer. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like you to share your thoughts on the aspect of, you know, people will listen to you, or they'll listen and watch this program, or they'll see an ad in the paper, but they think that that's for somebody else. It's not for me. But what you're looking for is input from each and every community member as a responsible community member. And I know we're not going to get them all, but
Yeah.
you would like to get as many opinions and possibilities as you can, right?
Absolutely. You know, everybody brings a different perspective to the table.
Yes.
And everybody has a different lived experience. Everybody views their community differently as well. And so how I view Neepawa may be different of how you view Neepawa is maybe different than, you know, some of our viewers, and how you view Neepawa and the types of supports that are here. And that all is based on your own reference points, right? Like, how did you grow up, or how are you living currently, or what your economic status is. And we truly, really want everyone's opinion in this community of how they see the community, how they see what they need within the community, and how they see us as the Salvation Army in that role. Do we need to expand? Maybe we don't. Maybe that's all we need to do is stay as a thrift store and a food hamper. Maybe there isn't a need for other services, but until we really ask the community, we don't know that. Yep. We can make a lot of assumptions, but we really need the community to validate or even suggest things that we didn't think about, that that are needed or could really help out, make the quality of life for people better, and help build capacity in people as well.
And the other thing I would like us to talk about a little bit in our coffee chat today is that basically we're dealing with 3 generations of people.
Mm-hmm.
And we need the input of each of those 3 generations.
Yes, yeah.
And what are the younger generations doing? What are they looking forward? Do you have any idea at this point?
I don't know. I'm out of that generation already.
I know. But have you? And you're, it's long past for me too. But what are the younger generation? What are their thoughts? And then and the mid-age generation, and we all have a responsibility, no matter how. In order to keep Neepawa the wonderful community it is to live in, we all have a responsibility.
Absolutely.
And you can, you're looking for opinions, and you're also willing to partner with other organizations and people to accomplish this, are you not?
Absolutely. We're not looking to do everything, but we really want to allow this community consultation to kind of spearhead maybe or identify things that we can go to other partners and be like, hey, this probably isn't something that we need to do, but it was identified within our community consultation that, that there's a group of people who really need supports in whatever, whether that's recreation, whether that's finances, whether that's, all sorts of different things. And for us, I think our role is to work cooperatively with others, build partnerships to ensure that we may not be the lead on something, but we can help and support another organization to take on to fill a gap within a service that people see is needed within the community. And I think that's exactly how communities should work, right? Right? There's, not everybody has to do everything. We need to really work together, and the more we work together as organizations and as community members, the better we are all for it, because we become better because the support network and the network is there to help.
And that personal benefit, we're all better for it.
Absolutely.
And we see the unrest around the world today. And for us to live happily and working together, it just makes a lot of common sense that the more we work together in partnership and create a good place to live, it does bring happiness to each individual.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think there's different connections. We talked about different generations of people and what seniors or what the middle age or what young adults are bringing to the table. Everybody has such a unique perspective, and every one of those perspectives is so valued, because we all live in the same community. And so if we can create some of those intergenerational bridges and networks, I think that we can really just learn so much more and grow our community in such a positive way, and support each other. I remember as 17 years ago coming to Neepawa, and we grew our family. Who did I have here to support me? So, for myself, it was trying to find, how do I belong to a community? How can I find friendships? Especially if you're somebody, and I was working by myself in an organization, so I didn't have coworkers. And I think, thank God that I was, my office was housed in the resource center, because we made connections with people at NACTV and people at Westlake, Employment, and like all the other places that ACC was in that building at one point in time, right? And our local MLA office was there, and there were so many connective points there that I was able to really build my social network really, really quickly. And so, and belonging to a service or organization also did that. So it's really important, I think, for us to really look at how, as a community, we connect with each other. Yeah.
And if we can accomplish one thing today and over this meeting on on May 18th if we can show or help people connect, because a lot of people say, well, my opinion, it doesn't count, nobody's going to hear me anyway. But you mentioned a safe place to go, and we all need that. And there's a number of people in all the age groups around any community, but especially in Neepawa with the new expanding population, a place to go so we belong.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, you're hoping to be able to identify some of those needs through this meeting, right?
Yeah, we hope so. We really want to talk about some specific themes like our changing community. What kinds of things that we can offer more than a hamper. How do people connect, and how can we help people connect within the community, and kind of that broader vision of what we kind of see. Is it a resource center, like I mentioned before, where it was kind of a one-stop shop and people knew that they could just drop in and connect with somebody and get some information if they were needing, and all of those types of things. I feel that when we create community spaces, right, that we grow a really strong community. And I think for us, on May 18th, those are the conversations, and they're going to be small conversations. People are going to mix and mingle. People will have an opportunity to have a say. It's not just going to be a whole bunch of people and you're going to listen to me talk. It's going to actually what we call a World Cafe style. So if you're not familiar with that, just Google World Cafe, and it's a really interesting way of a very kind of relaxed atmosphere that puts smaller groups in for short amounts of time to pull out information and generate good generative conversation.
For nothing else, it's going to be an evening of learning and connecting with people.
Exactly.
And, where it goes from there, who knows? But I know, and I'm pretty convinced it's going to be an enjoyable evening. So if anybody or any of our viewers are interested, please do come out because there's going to be a lot of good exchange. And the other thing, Amanda, I think we should probably be thankful. We do have a lot of safe places, within our community, for Neepawa being the size it is. But even to get the word out from those organizations and to work with them, it might be an opportunity to have some roundtable discussions there too.
Absolutely, yeah. We're really looking to connect with our partners and our other organizations within the community, and just to kind of see where we fit into what they're doing. And I think the more we know about what is happening with other organizations, the better we all are, because we can see opportunity to work together instead of working against each other or working in tandem, right? Like it's like if we're both doing, if one or two organizations are doing the same thing, are we actually accomplishing the goal of each of those organizations? But if you partner together, you really have an opportunity to reach those goals. So
just thinking of the positive aspect in it's human nature, there's always a certain amount of negativity that maybe some of these conversations and the idea of working together and connecting, it kind of removes it has the possibility of moving some of the negativity. The better we understand what our community is all about and where and what we can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so too, Lyle, that I think when we have conversation, that our minds are a little more open and we have an opportunity to kind of see beyond maybe a negative slight of something, and that's not to say that, this is all sunshine and lollipops. If they're, I deal with people who are struggling financially. We deal with people in poverty. We deal with food insecurity. We're dealing with some of the negative stuff within our community. But we create a positive space where everybody that walks through our door is dealt with dignity. Everybody that walks through our door has value. And we want to help continue to build capacity in those people and support them to get maybe out of the situation that they're in. And so that's really what we want to do in the future. But how we do that, we need the community to tell us what they would like to see us do.
Yes. And I know you mentioned, we talked briefly about partnerships, but you're also looking at dealing, or at least discussing this with our Chamber of Commerce, and you have an event planned for that in the near future?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're hosting a chamber after 5 on April 19th. So if you're a member of the business community or you just want to pop down and network with other people, please feel free. The doors are open at like 4-ish and probably till about 6 o'clock. And so it's just a networking opportunity. Have a tour of the store, and you can always ask more questions.
Yeah. I don't know whether this is a good place to mention it, but I'm going to anyway. You're talking about the Chamber of Commerce. Is it a good time to remind our citizens of this community about supporting our local businesses and working together again?
Absolutely. The more you support local, the more it helps your own community. And it is true that every dollar that you spend in a community goes to generate about 6 to 8 to 10 more. Yeah. And really supporting locally. It keeps your resources here. It keeps everything. There really isn't a lot of reasons to go outside of Neepawa if you really have a look at it. And we've got a fast growing business community here. Yes. There's not a lot of retail space downtown anymore. That's a great sign. And there's a more expansion of businesses and things like that. There's opportunity here, and there's a lot of opportunity for business, for employees, for people building families and lives, and it's an exciting time.
The other point that comes to my mind is that by shopping locally, when we go out to fundraise or to look for community support, where do we go? We go to our local businesses.
Exactly.
I would hope that everybody remembers that as they're shopping in some of the larger stores, and we don't go to those larger stores outside our community to get community support.
That is true. Yeah. Our business community is a great local support of anything that happens within our community, and they see the value in organizations and in other things, and we as citizens just see the value in our local businesses.
Yes, and I think that's so important, and hopefully that some of the discussions that you're providing a platform for, an agenda that will bring that up and make us more aware of how we can work together. So I'd like you just to remind our viewers what day that is.
Absolutely. So Wednesday, May 18th, 2002, it's at Arts Forward from 7 to 9. There'll be some refreshments and that sort of thing, but we just come with an open mind and a willingness to share.
And there's no charge?
No charge, no.
And you don't have to register?
No, and if anybody has any questions, just give the store a phone call or pop in and have a discussion with me if you want to know more information.
Okay. Well, as usual, Amanda, our time runs out or goes quickly.
It goes quick.
You and I could probably talk for another few minutes, but I'm just going to ask you if you have a closing thought that you would like to leave with our viewers about your work, your plan, and where we go from here.
Sure, thanks, Lyle. Honestly, the Salvation Army is really poised to make some great changes within our community and help be a transforming influence in people's lives. And we really just need the community to give us some input and to see where we can do that work the best. We hope that you see these things and you will participate and continue to support our efforts within the community to support those who need a little more help.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Amanda, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors and working through your planned agenda here too. So good luck on that, and look forward to working with you in the future.
You bet.
Well, that concludes another one, our coffee chat today. I hope you have found some interest or some maybe awareness of some of the points that Amanda has made. And I would encourage you to think about May the 18th. It's only a couple hours of time, and if nothing else, we could all have a visit and we'd all learn something, and there will be some good come from it. The other thing I would remind our viewers this afternoon or today is that this program is going to be aired, as all our Coffee Chat programs, several times in the near future. If someone that watches it this week or next week, whenever it shows, we'll say next week. And if you see something or hear something that has caught your attention or made you aware of, please share it with your friends, family, and neighbors, and maybe get them to tune in on the next viewing of this program, and maybe we can all benefit from it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I hope you have enjoyed our coffee chat today as much as I have. My name is Lyle Watson. Until next time, stay happy and stay healthy.